it just occurred to me that the whole issue, the whole sector had become stuck. People were tired, the discussions were the same, the people were saying the same things. There were changes at the margin, a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, a little bit of initiative here, a little bit of initiative there. But the major problems were not being addressed. And the situation was actually getting worse, because what was happening, it was from a situation of sort of some resources being made available. It seemed like the entire system was crisis management. You had aging population of people with disabilities where caregivers were dying off. This is something that hadn't happened before in history. There's whole new pressures building on a system that was not addressing the problems to begin with. So it just happened to be that our executive director of the organization that I belong to in Ottawa had just been to Australia to see what they were doing there. And we started talking and say, well, why not do this here? Australia is governed very much the way we are. It's a state-federal relationship. The states there are in charge of support services for people with disabilities and programming and so on. The federal government there had only been marginally involved, just like our federal government here. But yet they had introduced this, what looked like an absolutely magnificent, comprehensive program that really did try to address the issues in a very substantive way, but it has all done it through good homework, good research, and through a marvelous public relations campaign that had convinced the population that this was the right thing to do. Okay? And they managed to actually convince the Australian public to create this universal insurance program to have essential supports for people with chronic disabilities. And the Australians understood that this was going to cost each of them, on average, in terms of their taxes, about $350 a year. And the citizens backed it fully. And I thought, wow, in the age of, where the state was being rolled back and everybody, was screaming about taxes and so on, they managed to do this. And again, it was because it was the right thing to do. So this is what we're doing here in Canada right now, is we're trying to build this coalition to advocate for this kind of program, to get substantive federal government resources into this equation in a way that nobody's ever seen before. I'll be honest with you. This is kind of nation-state building of the type we used to see in the 70s. I'm making no bones about that. It's not something we're used to seeing or even talking about. So culturally speaking, we've got a big challenge ahead of us. Just getting people's head around this and to think in these terms is new for Canadians. We're also a little bit different from the Australian situation in that our national organizations are not as strong and comprehensive the way the Australian ones were. So in a sense, we're having to build that a little bit more. So we're probably looking at a longer lead time. Australians did it in about 5 years. We're probably looking at something a little bit longer than that. But that's the plan. We're out trying to get support, seeing if Canadians as individuals, and the individuals are what matter here. We need 150,000 supporters the way Australians got 150,000 supporters, because it's for them. And we need organizational endorsements to say, as organizations, we think this also is a good idea, but it's not about strengthening organizations. We hope to strengthen organizations through providing more resources for individuals. So, big picture, simple agenda in many respects. A million questions and a million problems. I understand all that. But I think for the sector, which has never been known for its cooperation or across disability cooperation for 20 years, I think keeping on that simple objective of creating this national disability insurance or supports program for people with chronic disabilities is something that is achievable, it's desirable, and we really need as Canadians that discussion.